Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Lynette, Brian, and Vic. Hello, everyone.
What's up, people?
Hello.
So today we join the ranks of Newport City's finest and take on the out-of-control criminal element as we jump in our squad tanks in Dominion Tank Police. Dominion Tank Police is an OVA series based on the manga written and illustrated by Masamune Shirow. There were actually 3 OVAs produced. We're just covering the first one, the original 4-episode OVA. It was released in 1988 and was directed by Taaki Ishiyama and Koichi Mashimo. It was animated by JC Staff and Agent 21. JC Staff, we've seen some stuff where I can't remember off the top of my head if we've done a lot of Agent 21 stuff. It was released in the U.S. by Central Park Media in 1993. With the current rights being held by Section 23, one of their offshoot companies, made in Japan. So it is not readily available, at least not this particular 4-episode run. In a dystopian, pollution-ridden future, Newport City has a problem with crime. And in order to combat it, the mayor has ordered the creation of a new police unit, the Tank Police.
Immediately request that.
The Tank Police fight for law and order and cause massive collateral destruction along the way. And trouble ensues when Leona Ozaki is transferred in from the motorcycle division. This whole OVA is basically broken up into 2 parts. There's a part 1, which is 2 episodes. There's a part 2, which is 2 episodes. They all have clever names. Crime Brigade, Crime War, Crime Ethic, Crime Factor. None of these clever names really have much to do with the actual episode itself.
Well, I'll agree with that statement.
Particularly the first few. So, in part 1 of the OVA, the villain, this character, his name is Buaku, and his gang, which at the time is 3 people, attempt to retrieve samples from a hospital, and Brian's already sighing, for a mysterious crime boss. And the Tank Police are called in to, address the situation. So
all right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First question.
Shoot.
All right. We'll get into.
We could start at the very top. You want to start at the very top where they have a very open discussion about what this entire anime is about in just the first 3 minutes?
Not that part. Actually, we could go there because ultimately, I think that's really crux of this whole thing.
Yeah.
We are in a police state,
Right.
and how much is too much? And the answer is
there's more.
Yeah.
So the opening is basically an off-camera conversation between the mayor and the chief of police. And the chief of police is off the rails. He is
like
hardcore.
It's like listening to Congress.
That's what I was like, whoa.
It's like listening to the far right law enforcement.
This whole anime,
this was in the 80s, and I swear to God, it was blowing my mind.
It is so
parallel,
so
it's
cognizant.
blowing my mind that the same thing that they're saying.
Yes,
this is a parody, right? So I mean, this is blatantly a parody, right? These characters, they're set in Japan, but these guys are all parodies of like 80s American actioners.
Oh yeah.
And like this whole thing, this whole setup is a parody of America. It's a parody of American military state. It's really something. Like, it just how on the nose a lot of this really is.
And it shows you that we have not changed.
We really
No.
have.
In fact,
3
we've
years
gotten
later.
worse.
Yeah,
In fact, I
arguably.
think we've gotten worse. So it's
And
okay.
if anything, it feels like it's a cautionary tale that nobody listened to.
Nobody listened to. So yeah, the conversation, the mayor is using an example of a surgeon using a chainsaw to do surgery or something. And the police chief's like, the fuck? And he's
Mhm.
complaining that crime is elevated and the tanks are the only thing that can help them stop crime. He would use atomic bombs if you let him, but tanks
Oh,
is what
yeah.
he's got. So give him more tanks.
And we can't express that we are using our inside voice
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about
Yes.
they're trying to relate, but we don't have enough passion
No.
in our 4 collective bodies
Yeah.
match this
I
man's passion.
I give the voice actors on both languages absolute credit because boy, do they deliver. They really they really bring it.
I
I
went,
actually
I did
yeah, go
dubbed
ahead.
or I did dubbed.
I
Dubbed.
did both. I watched it dubbed and I watched it subbed. And that was because I remembered watching it subbed because that was I think how it was first released to us.
Mhm.
And then I remembered parts of the dub and I said, "Wait, I remember some of this. I remember a really shitty opening theme song. Like I remember some of this." So then I went and I
Oh.
found the English version. I switched over to the English dialogue. And luckily, whatever version I obtained
Appropriated?
through misappropriated, didn't have the English theme until I think it was like the 3rd episode and it had the English theme. And I was like, "Oh, there it is. That's the one." And it was the only time it was there. And I was like, "Oh, good."
Yo,
Yeah.
cheesy music. Oh my god.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes. The opening hot
So-
dance and Cherry Moon.
So
And-
so get this. My lovely wife,
yeah.
she walks in, she was like, "Oh my god, that's like Jim and the Holograms when G.I. Joe had a baby." Yeah,
Oh my God, that is so true.
I looked at her. It wasn't the nicest look I could have given her. None of the love there. She just looked at me back, shook her head, and then walked right back out. I was like,
That's fair.
"Every-"
You know, it's moments like that where you just go, "Yeah, you know what? I gotta take that one."
yeah,
Right.
it's-
right on the chin, right on the chin.
That's out. It's a really fun opening just because it immediately dives right into the parody of it all. Immediately dives right into the militarizing the police. And the mayor's immediately regretted her decision. She's talking all about collateral damage. She's talking about how destructive
Insurance claims.
insurance claims through the roof. And that's the running gag is that there's more paperwork than there is crime being solved. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like a constant ire for the chief. So it opens letting you know this is gonna be silly. And then just to help emphasize it, you're gonna get a hot dance and Cherry Moon, so you know it's gonna
Mhm.
be extra silly. When I said before that this has a cast of characters that is a parody of American action films and American actioners, I couldn't have been more on the nose about that, particularly when we're talking about Captain Brenton.
Okay, all right. We need to go around and take a see who we all think he is a parody of.
All right, that's fair. Captain Brenton.
Oh, you have notes on this, so I imagine no, we gotta save you for last.
Okay.
Pick. Who
Me?
do you think? Yeah, who do you
Oh,
think he is a
God.
parody of?
I can't think of a single person, but he's like a parody of the gung ho like police any police person in like 80s action movies.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Lynette.
He reminded me of a combination of Mel Gibson's character in Lethal Weapon and every general that dies in Alien when they wake up. That guy, that military guy, wake up. Yeah. He had that kind of bravado with the craziness of Mel Gibson all put together.
Yeah.
Okay,
He had that fantastic
deeper
80s
cut.
stash. Go ahead.
I have a
Okay.
deeper cut.
Go ahead.
It was Tackleberry
Yes, 100%.
Cobra.
Nice. Yep. Sure.
Sylvester Stallone, Cobra.
Yeah, without a doubt.
With the cigarette too. Well, Cobra had
a
a
cigarette.
yeah. So those are my two cuts: Tackleberry and Cobra.
Yes, he's absolutely a Tackleberry type. He's really great. He's always reading a How to Kill magazine. Just
Yes.
really on the nose. He's also a little bit like visually. He reminded me of the bad guy from Commando. Because he had like the Freddie Mercury stash going on. He always had like the muscle shirts and he was so fucking funny. Captain Brenton is probably my favorite character in this. He's
I liked him.
absolutely nuts.
He's
and
really the only person who shows up. Everybody else just phones in.
he's every level of machismo, like just American gung ho bullshit. He's hilarious. He carries this for me, and he goes flies off the handle.
Oh, all the time.
For no
Every
reason.
single time.
Everything.
He's got 2 speeds. He's got 1
Oh my God.
and 11.
Look. I know we're going to get to it after the first one, after the first episode, but I just got to skip ahead to when they do the whole shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That was the best. That was the best scene.
That was the anime visualization of that statement. And it was perfect.
Yes.
It was perfect.
Right.
It was then. Until that moment in time, I didn't know what the hell I was watching. At that moment in time, that's when it clicked for me that it was a parody.
Oh,
And
man.
the entire what the fuck that I've been doing this entire time, I felt the tension in my shoulders just lessen because I was like, okay, they're making fun of it, and I got it. It still didn't make anything less ridiculous.
Oh, no, yeah.
No.
It is absurd, without a doubt. So the first arc, get into it a little bit now. So the first arc, this character, Buwaku, he's a criminal. You don't really know right away, but it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly that he's not human-ish or all human. You at the very least think he's a cyborg at first.
There's something off.
Right.
Because
And
he has
he's
the
being-
same eyes that you would see in like Ghost of the Shell from Homeboy.
Absolutely.
No, Appleseed. Apple. Is it? No, it is Ghost of the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
It's Ghost
yeah.
in the Shell.
Yeah. He's got those little lenses. He's very much he's in the back of an ambulance and he's getting patched up by his 2 girls, the Puma sisters.
Are they cat
twins.
mutants or what are they?
Okay, so they are sex toys.
They're androids.
They're cat girl sex toys. They're androids that were made. They're sex dolls. They're basically real dolls, and they didn't like that very much, so they fought against their programming and became criminal.
They actually make one valid point throughout their whole thing. If you ever watch it, they said, I enjoyed dancing naked, but I didn't make enough. I don't understand why a picture of a naked man is $900 million, but I only make minimum wage.
Yes, it's so true.
I was like, I love these ones. They're
Yeah.
cool.
They're great.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It took 4 episodes for me to go, wow, they have more than 2 brain cells.
they should be like lifted up by sex workers around the world as mascots because they're fantastic.
Like seriously, they heard sex workers were like, wait a minute.
That was why they left, because they weren't
Yeah.
making
They
anything.
weren't making
They
any money.
enjoyed it. They
Yeah.
thoroughly
Motherfucker's
enjoyed their
spitting.
work.
Yeah.
Like, these motherfuckers spitting.
It was great. There's a lot of those kinds of like moments in this anime where they say something and you just go, well, yeah, but
They were
Can I-
I just waited for whatever was going to come out of
Yeah.
their mouth.
And did you ever? We really haven't even scratched the surface of all the characters that we have in here.
oh my gosh,
We
no,
have
there's
a
so many.
police
No.
chaplain.
Yes, who's
Yes.
literally
Oh my-
named Chaplin. He's fucking great.
Yes.
and I love how how much he participates in things, especially the interrogations.
The
That-
way they were immorally long.
And that's
And yet he was still somehow the voice of reason.
and
Yes.
yeah, and that is this, and it's everyone's a trope, right? There's the Specs character who's the sciencey guy, and then there's Chaplin, the religious guy. There's literally a guy named Mohican with a mohawk. Like they
Yeah.
could, they were not, they're not trying to hide anything.
Well,
There's no
It was the
subtlety here.
80s. It was a
Specs
different
was
time.
called Specs.
And I
Yeah.
was about to say, he was such a strong, silent guy. I was like, oh no, they're making him in. I'll just go ahead.
That's what they're doing. It's okay. And it's
Then
okay.
they had the rookie boy next door.
They did. They had the nice kid, and I mean, it's all the tropes are there, and they're all played well. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that they're great tropes. They're they're not. They're just, but they're all. It's what we're used to. So they were funny. They were all funny. So so these bad guys, they are trying to break into a hospital. So they feign an injury and break into the hospital, and the doctor, and who in the dub is sporting a horrible German accent, is telling them that at this hospital we only treat healthy people. And Buaku, the criminal, is like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's like,
So-
"In what world does that make any sense?"
Right, exactly. In what world does that make any sense? So they rob this place, and they take these canisters, and these canisters look like Pokeballs. So they take these Pokeball canisters, and they try and make their getaway, right? And they're ultimately thwarted by the tank police, who, en route, in a very mountain, I think it was called, that was just massive tank. That Brenton, it was Brenton's baby, his big ass tank.
It was just
And-
destroys the road as it goes.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And it's just these tanks are rolling through the city, serving and protecting, and they are
They
just
haven't even-
shredding
Shredding.
the asphalt. And so Leona Ozaki, it's her first day on the job. She's stationed inside the tank. And he is spitting bars at her. He's just laying in her the law of the land, how it works, and you got to understand, doll, this is how it works. It's fucking great. They get engaged in combat, and Leona doesn't really know what she's doing, and thus destroys this big, beautiful mountain tank.
Okay. We got to get back a bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
First thing we got to talk about is the fact that, and this actually comes back up in episode 4.
Yeah.
But they say serious emergency happens every 36 seconds.
6 seconds.
Right, that's when he's educating us. There's a crime every 36 seconds in this city.
Our job is not to make sure it happens every 35.
Oh, fuck.
The villain, how do you say his name?
I say Buaku, because that's how I have it written. So
That's how it's
yeah.
spelled.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
All right, so him, they actually rear end the tank, the mountain.
Yes.
Yes.
The Puma twins rear end the mountain. That's what I'm calling it. It had
So
a
he-
name, but I write him remembering mountain.
So the Britain is out to cuss them out, and that's when they realize that's who they're trying to fight.
Yeah.
And this is when they shoot him.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do. They do shoot him. Like
Well, they
And you
shoot
think
at
he's
him.
dead.
it's basically they roll down the window as he comes up to the window and put a bazooka in his face. That's what they do. My girl said it's not her fault. Boom. That shit was. Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, he had such a short on-screen time. He dead.
Yeah, that's the end of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
And then
caused
he
the
just
two
wakes up
young
as they
ones.
drive
Yeah.
off, and
Mhm.
you can't catch up to him. But
No.
he eventually, they get a building drop on them. They pop out and just shoot the cannon, put them up. This is important to say it like this because they recover the orbs.
That they do.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
That they do.
Which
Those
brings
magical
us-
orbs with clear liquid.
I
which
fucking
brings us to the
loved,
funniest TJ Hooker.
fucking loved this shit. They show up on the scene, and the canisters are shattered. One of the canisters is shattered, and Captain Brenton takes his glove off, gets his pinky out, just like in the movies. He dips it in, puts it in his mouth, and like, what the fuck is this?
No. He tells what the chemical breakdown is.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's calling it out as like
Yes.
CO2 3. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He
Like a
calls it out.
badass. Yeah.
He says, "Get." He says, "It's urine." You know,
It's urine from a perfectly healthy human.
And
Yes.
Brent is like loses his
Ah.
shit because of course anyone would.
Well, I mean, if you had a pinky full of piss on your mouth, then
Piss
yeah.
water. Yeah, piss. Oh my god, you're making me
Read
drink
that.
piss. It's so fucking funny. It's great. He absolutely goes ape shit.
He
and
asks he asks the question that everybody asks: Why are you keeping this?
and this is when I'm like, all right, you've been hilarious, and just hilarity has ensued this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to give me smart science exposition now. Now's not the time where you try to talk to me about the importance of piss.
Right.
Piss is, you know what I'm saying? Urine is it's
Yeah.
not it can't be a valuable resource.
So you would think. But I love it because it's such a great moment that takes a thing we're all used to seeing and flipping it on its head.
Mhm.
And then Specs, of course, is fascinated by this and wants to learn all about why you have the piss. And there's some, like Brian says, a little bit of sciencey monologuing there that even Brenton is completely uninterested in.
Dee
And as he's talking to Specs and Specs breaking it all down for him, and Brenton's like, whatever. He trips over the fallen scrap of his big, beautiful mountain tank and is not happy.
At all.
And this is, again, a parody. This anime is a parody of all of these tropes. But he discharges Leona Ozaki and wants to send her to, was it the child welfare department? And basically you're fired kind of thing. And she's like, okay, I'm fired. Okay, but like first I'm going to use the scrap from your thing to build a tank. And he's like, all right, tight. But after that, you're still fired.
So welfare.
Because that's how that works. So they give her time.
Which again, nobody has ever shown that they have this mechanical knowledge.
No, nobody has exhibited that at all. And she's been motorcycle cop. So as we at best she could fix a motorcycle.
Best.
At
But
best.
no.
But yet, somehow they build a metal slug.
They build a metal slug. They build her tiny tank. They build Bonaparte, affectionately named after Napoleon Bonaparte, the infamous Frenchman who was allegedly small in stature. Hence the name, Bonaparte. Cute little tank. There you go. I feel like I have to inject history since, reasons. The funny part is that Bonaparte isn't even in this first episode at all.
Nope.
Right? The main, like Dominion, like the cover is her and Bonaparte. Like that's Dominion. Tank Police. And the tank doesn't really show up until well into episode 2. Oh, I guess I should probably comment on the striptease, right? Because that was a thing that happened in the first episode.
Yes, their hair grew miraculously. It expanded, grew, and became a good
It must
boa
have humid outside.
cover.
This
They spent the budget on this part right here.
by today's standards, that was a completely innocuously silly little dance number.
Uh-huh.
But to teenage us, we were like, holy shit, these girls are getting naked. And this is a cartoon.
Oh my God, this is going to be Eurosika Doji Part 4.
Right. Was
The
it?
whole
My mom watched this with me, and she
Oh,
came
that's
back
great.
after getting a drink to that
Yeah.
scene, and she goes, What's happening?
And that's when you
Look,
go,
look,
it's called a distraction, Mom.
That's what
No,
I
no.
said. I said they're distracting the police.
Your mom
And
said
she goes, oh, okay.
your
Love it.
mom said what we were all thinking.
That's
What's
it.
happening?
What's happening?
This
What is this?
She
Like, they get
said
freaking
that
spotlights on
multiple
him, and they
times.
start. And what I love is that the cops are all fucking into it because they're all idiots, right?
Yes,
So they cut to a shot of the crowd, and they're all like cheering and like pumping their fists in the air. They're having a great old time. But to us, in the 90s, early 90s, we were like, God damn, this is crazy. These are cat girls. These are cat girls. Cat girls are getting naked. Holy shit. So it was funny. Yeah. This was provocative at best. They
At
don't
best.
actually get naked.
No.
And they immediately show you that they were not naked at all. But they certainly led you to believe it for a while there. Anyway, it was a funny bit they used to get away. So,
At that moment, millions upon millions of boys got blue balls.
They discovered what that means.
Many
As soon
entered
as they
puberty
jumped out.
instantaneously.
Instantaneous.
Those girls, the Puma sisters, are absolutely where anime cat girl fetishes come from. Just say it. It started there, without a doubt.
Hell, they do it much better than S.W.A.T girl.
100% better. No notes. But seriously, this was it. This was like when the Neko Mimis came out, the cat ear things, like people were like, that was the first thing I thought of was this anime.
Mm-hmm. Specific sequence.
So they get away.
Yeah, they do. They get away.
Get away, and then it goes back to the shit rolls downhill.
Is this the shit rolls down?
Yeah,
episode
this is
2
the
is the
episode.
shit rolls downhill.
No. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
1. Oh,
The very
okay.
end.
Oh, okay,
The very end of
perfect. Let's do shit rolls downhill. Shit rolls downhill. I feel like this should be a clip that you can like share with the world because it is a perfect shit rolls downhill.
Well, it starts off from the mayor laying into the chief.
Laying into the chief. And it is I don't have it scripted, but it is a simple ass chewing.
It's simple action with a very small number of affected. Like, let's just say it says in 10 claims were filed.
Right.
So then it goes from the chief to Britain, and he's pretty much saying the same thing that the mayor said to him, but he escalates the number from 10
to
like 100, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So the chief is laying into him and he's bumping the number up. You got to get them numbers up, baby. And
just for Britain, go down Vaki and Al. Say, everybody, y'all can't do shit right. Y'all have 400 claims.
It's great. It's the exact same script said by each character rolling downhill. And the numbers keep getting inflated. It's perfect. It's a perfect bit of comedy. No notes for it. It was really well done.
We could seriously make a short about that. And everybody will
just felt just too real.
It was great. It was absolutely great. So I apologize. Yeah. So that was end of episode. So episode 2, the bad guys, they are lamenting their defeat to their immediate boss. He's not like the big bad, but he works for the
immediate boss. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Counselor.
Middle management.
There you go. Thank you.
Your immediate supervisor.
And I love that they're bitching about it as if he doesn't understand the situation. They're like, you don't understand, boss. They had tanks. And he's like, they're called the fucking tank police. Of course they had tanks. Like, he's very nonplussed about this. And he's like, I guess I can get you a tank. Whatever.
The best was, did you see what they did to me? And the girl flashes her boob. It has a band-aid on her nipple.
Yes.
And the only thing the counselor guy does is has an eyebrow that pops up.
Just pretty much what we all did.
Without a doubt.
Not wrong.
Because she just casually did it. Did you see? Flash boob and there's just X on her nipple.
So yeah, so they're bitching about it, and Boss Man says he'll get them tanks. So he gets them tanks, and they look like World War II tanks. These bitches are just old looking, beat up ass
Right.
tanks, and they comment on it a lot, and they bitch about the way the tanks look a lot. And the boss he's just like, these are gonna be fine. They just look like shit. Can't have you parading around town in Ferraris. You got to be in Pintos. And
we're going to give you this
these special weapons.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the delivery on it is so good because they're like, and what are these? And he gives the name. I don't remember what the name is, but the delivery on it is just like the ooh ah ah. Yeah. Ooh ah ah. And it's just this intensity. And you're like, whoa. All right. Cool.
Okay.
What the fuck? And boy, the payoff on that is great. So
It's perfect. She was drinking her drink. She walks in, deadpan. Those are penises. Deadpan.
Yep.
That's exactly
So they go and they pick
no
a fight.
reflection.
Go directly to Tank Police headquarters.
Right.
Pick a fight.
Figure
Draw
fight.
them all out.
Yeah.
Let's just throw
Yep.
the surprise
The,
ooh ah ah.
Anti-tank dildos.
The anti-tank weapons. They're so good. And boy, it's fucking hilarious. They drive over these things and these cocks sprout up out of the floor. Multicolored.
Reverted to
Just-
like 12-year-old me. I go, Mama, those are peepees.
It's
Mama,
just-
those are peepees.
Big, brightly multicolored cocks and balls. And they just and in the dub, they really lean into the erectile jokes. So it's great. They're talking about, they'll calm down after a few minutes. Like, there's shit like just really, they lean into it. It's very funny. And it's great. The tanks are completely deterred and undone by these penises. It's fucking hilarious. It's such a fun joke, and I appreciated it.
They called them turned over turtles or something like that.
The only tank that is left to take on. There's only 2 tanks left. One
Yes.
is driven by S.W.A.T, who's
At the hospital already.
He's
the
at the hospital, just protecting.
doing guard duty.
Yeah, doing guard duty.
And the only other tank that's left is Bonaparte.
Bonaparte.
Yes, Metal
we got
Slug.
We get our first look at Tiny Tank. And they and he's adorable. But she rolls up with the thing, and Brenton is just he's fucking great. I love this
He's
guy.
running in formation.
Running.
Yes.
He's got them all.
With his flag.
He's carrying his flag, and he's got them all running because there's nothing else they can. So they're pursuit on foot. And they just kind of roll up, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? What are we doing?"
Yeah, need a lift.
Man,
Oh, we're
it's
in
fucking
pursuit.
funny.
Do you want to lift?
Yeah.
Can that thing shoot? Yeah.
It's little.
Well, then yes.
Not
Well,
going after the bad guy. I'm going to the welfare office. Like you don't. That was the best.
That was great. So she extorts her way
Blackmails
back
him.
into into the tank police, and they give
they're
chase.
proud about the fact that she blackmailed her way back in.
Absolutely.
Negotiated. She says she negotiated.
That's right. Negotiated. It's great. Bonaparte's adorable, by the way. Like, as far as tank designs go, Bonaparte is a very cute little tank. He's got like this little snub nose barrel. It's hilarious.
No barrels. The track design is a interesting millipede choice, if you will.
That thing is designed to tear up everything. That is what that is. Like that tank don't mess around. So the tank police, there's an action scene. There's a lot of really cool, really well animated action. Really well animated kind of everything in.
I can't even say it's beautiful destruction. It is this destruction of unwanted and unnecessary levels.
Without a doubt.
It's
It
please
is-
level wanton destruction.
Miss the sneeze.
They're doing the standoff, right?
Oh,
and
it's
then
right.
Right,
a Mexican
they're doing the
standoff.
Right.
Not the first one in the series.
No.
That's the first one. Bonaparte shoots one and takes it out of commission.
Yeah.
The other one, Bonaparte is the hospital behind him,
Yeah.
and they're about to fire. A fire, Bonaparte jumps, destroys the hospital. The hospital comes down on Bonaparte. To protect the hospital, we bring the tanks inside
Inside
and
The hospital.
drive
The rest of the city that way.
through it. Yeah.
through
It's
the
just
hospital.
Yes, that is the only way to save it.
the one with the perfectly healthy people. It's the only way.
When they leave the hospital just burning in ashes, I'm like,
Show the whole
Yeah.
picture too.
Hospital's just
Mhm.
like basically 9/11. That shit is gone.
they get away, or so they thought, because they
Mhm.
they had gone back to retrieve the urine. They get the urine, take it back to the counselor, and come to find out it was just a setup because Bonaparte actually survived the destruction. Shows up and apparently kills the counselor.
Right.
Yes.
And then kills the counselor. I don't think they even retrieve the urine. I think they just destroy it.
Yeah, it's done at this
Now
point.
you figure in
Yes.
that one explosion, everyone has survived every other major explosion. Brenton survived the freaking shot, an explosion in his face. Counselor, explosion halfway, 30, 40, 50 feet from him, dead.
It's fine.
The only person in that entire room that died.
I think it
Yes.
means in the entire anime.
Oh no. Episode 4.
You're
But,
right. You're right. Episode 4 does lift the body count.
All right. So then they get back to
You're
to
right.
headquarters, and now
And it's at this point that everybody starts getting their ass chewed out by the mayor. In
Mhm.
her, she's there to like in person to bitch these people out. And if this were the way they would have ended this it would have just been like a 2-part OVA and it would have been the end of it. I actually probably would have been okay with it. But Leona does arguably the most 80s thing and a police officer would ever do. In my eyes, when I saw it, I'm like, well, you're fired. Like, that's it. You're done. You're going to jail. You're done. You're done. She pulls her weapon on the mayor, aims it squarely at the mayor, and proceeds to give the mayor an empowered speech on the importance of the tank police and the work they do and the safety that they provide, and then fires a round at the mayor and hits her desk between her legs. Which there's so much illegal with that. It's just
But it is a very 80s thing to do.
right, exactly
Mhm.
that. It's like I was on board for all the wackiness, and then when she draws the gun on the mayor, I'm like, oh my god, like we're just
and I don't think this is the first time or the last time that happens to the mayor.
so all this paperwork, mountains of paperwork, is flying out the window. It's flying all over the place, and all the cops are all very happy with for having just drawn her weapon and used it to threaten the mayor.
Mhm.
It's a weird, it's sort of a weird character moment for Leona because Leona has not shown herself to be this.
Violent.
She's reckless,
All right.
right? She,
I have what it is, right?
yeah,
But we typically talk about character development. Right?
yeah.
I would call this one character regression. Because when she first comes to the tank police and they're torturing, and she's like,
You
no,
interrogating.
my bad, interrogating. She's like, no, it shouldn't be this way, right? And then
Yeah.
as the entire, even the chaplain's like, he's just upset that you destroyed his baby, and that's like a son to him. That's like a son to him. And if one day you'll have the same love for your tank, and when you do, you'll be a part of tank police. She develops that for Bonaparte,
Right.
In like 2.5 seconds.
but it completely takes her to the other side of the reservation, and it really is a regression.
Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah, that's a good way to word it.
I'm going to talk about that in my final thought.
Okay, cool.
Alright.
I love it. So yeah, so it's a weird character beat for me, but I still like Leona. She's a lot of fun. She's spunky. She's very affectionate towards her tank. She's got a lot of excitement in her. She's cool. After a very fun first 2 episodes, we move into the second half of the Soviet. The overall story is about Buaku. Focuses more on this villain character. He aims to steal a high-priced painting from like a Sotheby's auction.
The Innocents.
Innocence, yes. In order for reasons. But the thing of it is the painting is him, right? And it starts off showing this painting. It's clearly a painting of him, nude. And the
It
girls,
shows off the auction and how much
yeah,
it's painting.
it shows at the auction and it's making like $9 million, right? It goes for $9
At 100.
So the girls in Buaku are sneaking into this place. They're going to rob the joint because he wants this painting. And the girls are giving him the third degree on this. So like, what are we doing? An art? Like, what is this? And then he's giving them this speech about, androids. And this is the first point where you understand that they're supposed to be androids. The androids, they do things for, multiple reasons. One is to fulfill their programming. And the other is dead or whatever. So they're giving him the third degree. And it's a weird speech for him to give because his reason for wanting this is neither of the things he said androids are supposed to do. So they break into this place. There's a shit ton of fancy artwork. He only wants innocent. And they do their thing. The Puma girls, they only know how to rob things one way. And it ain't quiet. So everything escalates. It goes to shit. And he gets his innocence painting, Buaku. And we're introduced at this point to, what were they called? The Red Commandos?
The Red
Yes.
Commandos.
Yes.
So the Red Commandos, these battle armor-laden Night Saber wannabes who are basically private military or private security. They've been hired to protect innocents at all costs. And I love it because the guy's so upfront about it. When he drops in, he's like, you can do whatever you want with all the other art. Take it, leave it, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But innocence stays with us. It was like, damn. That's
I don't. He's like, I don't
so-
care.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Neither
And
do they.
They proceed to not give a fuck about anything.
They proceed to not give a fuck about anything. And it's like, this place is Swiss cheese. Like, they absolutely unleash on this place. It goes to
And
shit.
destroy everything, including
Every-
things like the statue of David.
And just all of it. There's no culture to be left after this. So they shred the place. They have a big to-do. The Red Commando manages to, I would argue, fatally wound Buaku. And this big battle ensues. It leads to the tank police participating in a chase of sorts. And Leona is
Captured?
basically, they have this thing called a bio ball, and it's a choker. I can't really think of a more
Nope,
clever way to
that's
do it.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
I was actually going to say, think of it as a face hugger that just chokes you.
Right. It's like an organic thing, and it's just like every time I don't know what the actual parameters
doing.
are because it doesn't really.
It doesn't say.
It just kind of does it when it wants to. It starts choking you out. Buaku uses it on Leona to basically incapacitate her and kidnap her.
Take her hostage.
Right. So he takes Innocence and her, and they get away. So the bulk of these 2 episodes is Buaku and Leona finding a common ground and having an understanding. She's a law enforcement officer. She cannot possibly rationalize or understand why Buaku is the way he is, and Buaku is driven to see this through to the end so he can understand his past because he's has a little trouble kind of remembering it. So it's sort of a weird follow-up because the first half of this anime, the 2 episodes, are very funny. And they lean a lot into the comedy and the parody of it. And then these last 2 episodes, they try to take a little more of a character serious sort of turn. I don't necessarily know that it lands.
No.
It's still got some funny beats to it, but it doesn't have the energy of the first 2.
Well, even say, I think it was started, the animation team has changed on this one as well.
It wouldn't surprise me. These second two
I mean,
episodes.
yeah, it was about a year difference between the two.
Exactly. I was just going to say that, Vic. These last two episodes came out like a year after the first two. The first two were a great setup. Like, if you were going to take those first two and then start reading the manga, perfect. Like, that's a great way to lead into it. And these addition to these second two are important if you're going to read the books, because it's sort of a prequel. Greenpeace is, I guess, an integral character to it. I've never read it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Called
that's what my
Dominion Mothra.
that's what my notes that's what my notes had. And I don't know, it's hard to talk a lot about those second two episodes because it's really just this very slow moving chase where the Red Commandos are at odds with the tank police. The Red
Yeah.
Commandos want to obtain innocence at any cost. They don't care about collateral damage, human collateral, and it doesn't matter. And the tank police just want to get Leona back. So those two teams are at odds with each other. Brenton is in his typical form, very aggressive, very much
Standoffish.
hating very standout. He's great. He's really great. All the characters really hold up. It's just the story for these second two episodes really, really slows things down. It just sort of loses its momentum for me.
It's kind of like they had some dildo mines. They finally went down.
Something like that.
I'm sorry, PT mines. PP mines.
Yeah, those things. So it's like I said, it's slower. It's not necessarily bad, but it is trying to get to endear you to Buaku. And you do learn a little bit more about his life. You learn about that he was an android that was developed as part of a secret project called Greenpeace. And he just keeps kind of saying it. Greenpeace. It's like a thing. And he was a test dummy for it that they were using. And
Like literally.
yeah. And they,
Mm-hmm.
is it the military, the government? Somebody busts into this joint and fucks it all up. And he gets away and he ends up being homeless on the street and he gets framed for a crime in the weirdest way possible. It's like a drive-by framing.
Mhm.
And he ends up becoming a criminal because of it. Like that's his whole life is laid out because of he didn't know who the hell he was anyway. It was weird. See, I don't know. It's story-wise, I kind of just surmised the whole fucking thing. Like it really wasn't a lot there. It wasn't very meaty. It was more Leona and him trying to make a deal. You help me patch up my wound and get me where I need to go, and I'll give you the antidote for this bio ball. And
Yeah.
is the two of them coming to an understanding. At no point do either one of them actually make the agreement. They both stick to their morals, whatever those morals are.
Oh, go with their beliefs.
Yeah, until the very end when they agree to disagree, basically, but they also don't want to kill each other. You know what I mean? So it's a
Yes.
very, I don't want to say it's heartwarming because it's really not, but it's also just sort of like, it's the sort of episodes you throw in the middle of a series when you need filler.
Yeah.
This isn't where you end it. And this is kind of where they ended it, which is sort of a weird thing. He gets away. The Puma sisters don't have much to do in it. They bitch a little bit at the beginning. They bitch and moan. They do this funny bit where they dress up in fancy clothes and they criticize the artwork in the first part of it. And it's funny. I appreciated it. They bitch about the fact that, $9 million for a painting of him. They don't get anything
900
like
million.
that. Thank you. Sorry. So they don't get a lot, but they get some of the funnier parts in it. And it ends with a setup. They show you Greenpeace. Right? They take you, he gets away and they takes you to this area where you get to see Greenpeace. Greenpeace is a girl with
Minion Mothra.
there you go. She's got wings, very insect-like. And that's it.
Yep.
They don't give you anything else. That's all you get.
That was the part that confused me. I was like, are they
Yeah.
trying to do like a to be continued type
Yeah.
thing? Or
So apparently she plays a bigger role in the anime or in the manga. I looked her up. So the Greenpeace project is, for all of us who maybe didn't know, the project's goal was to create humans who could photosynthesize so they can counteract the bacteria that's in the air. The whole planet is, or the whole city is so polluted, you have to wear masks even to be outside. So humans who can photosynthesize and act as human filtration rather than needing to use the masks all the time. So I guess in a weird sort of way, their answer to fixing pollution was to change humanity to be able to handle pollution, not to just
I pollute.
have an EPA and fix pollution. That's kind of the thing. That's what the whole Greenpeace thing.
Yeah.
It was very weird. I don't know that having 4 episodes was better than maybe just having 2 episodes. I still had fun, but the second 2 episodes really felt longer to me than the first 2. So I don't know. I know I didn't break it down a lot but that's really just.
I don't think we have the energy to. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think. I don't
I
think
felt like
there's
they were
m-
trying to go serious after
Right.
being
I
such a
agree
good
with that.
parody. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you kind of threw off the whole vibe of the thing.
It really felt. You know what that felt like to me? I'm gonna compare it to when Victor informed us that Pat Labor was supposed to be a comedy. we watched the last 2 episodes of this first. Like that's what watching Pat Labor the movie felt like. It was like watching these last 2 episodes first.
And if we was if we were to see the last 2 episodes first, they probably, it would have been something that most people would probably drop first because it's like,
Yeah.
it's not bad, but it's not great.
The only reason
Yeah.
you hang out for those last 2 episodes is because you had so much fun in the first 2.
Mhm.
They got a lot of goodwill out of me as a viewer for the first 2 episodes that I was willing to sit through the second 2 to see how it played out, only to be disappointed that there wasn't really an ending. I don't know. I know it's not like the
It's not our
wittiest thing.
typical shutdown, but
No.
uh,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they did it to themselves.
they really did. So anyway, yeah. So no, I guess we could probably start talking about how we're gonna wrap this up for a little, huh? Let's get into it. Who wants to go first? I'm gonna eyeball the screen here. I'm gonna let Lynette go first this. Hi, Lynette. So, had you
Hi.
even heard of Tank Police before we watched this?
No. Mm-mm.
Fantastic.
I was very cautious.
Had you ever heard of Masumune Shiro before? Had you ever seen anything? I mean, other than the stuff we watched,
I'm
'cause
not
we
good with.
watched.
I'm actually not good with names, so I
right.
probably might have
Okay.
He
from
goes
the
to the show, right?
here.
Ghost
Yes.
in the
From the-
Shell, Appleseed,
Right. So
Okay,
you've
well then, yes.
seen
Magic
you've seen
M66.
his work through the course of this podcast. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's so yeah, he's very famous for cyberpunk, like technologically advanced kind of stuff. He's very good. So
Mhm.
anyway, go ahead. Sorry. So yeah, Tank Police. Take me through it.
I would have to say, kind of reminded me a little bit like the first 2 episodes reminded me of like Police Academy type things. Where you're just gonna see people just do ridiculous things and explain it like it's a normal situation. Like, never mind. Please ignore the tank going through the hospital for healthy people. Don't worry about us blowing up buildings and destroying personal property. It's so cool. Don't worry about it. It's- and it's the fact that everybody was totally cool. Even the bystanders, like as you watch them driving their tanks down, everybody just like gets out the way, like, oh, must be Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
You know?
They would roll down their tanks down the road for tacos.
They would.
Yeah, yeah.
They
So
were
I love
even
the first
eating
2.
in the tanks.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
they were.
These guys love their tanks. They're into it.
Yeah, that those were their babies, and I love the part was it Brennet said something about because she said they're difficult to drive, and he said, "Well, you have to know how to handle manly things."
Yeah.
I was like,
So I fucking love Brenton. He's so funny.
Such a
Bigger is
chauvinist.
better. Like he's just like he's so everything that comes out of his mouth is a
That was
fucking
"Honey."
like oh
Oh
my
my
Long
gosh.
statement.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was so bad, but, and then, like, the cat girls, I was like, "Oh, okay, so that's how that is." But I would have to say the most fun I had was watching my mom's reactions to all of the episodes. It mostly entailed, like, "What are we watching?" Or "What's happening?" But I would have to say the last 2, I was like, "Oh, they're trying to get serious now. Why are they trying to get serious?" is it supposed to be serious? And I was like, oh, I don't like this one, but okay. And then we had the ferry, and I was like, are they high? I feel like they might be high. 'Cause he's just sitting with a big bright light. All of a sudden, this big bright light happens. I'm like, either they're high or he's dead. I'm trying to figure out which one is which. But yeah, like you, there was no ending, so I was kind of sad about that, but I enjoyed it. I watched it subbed, of course. So
Yeah, I mean, there are some things that are resolved. Like the Red
yeah,
Commandos, they all get arrested except for one
yes,
who gets blown the fuck up.
Casualty number
yes,
2.
yes.
Yeah. And the Puma girls are the ones that pull the trigger on them. And it's
with
it's
an
a
even
fun
bigger
bit.
mountain.
With an even bigger mountain. That's right. But yeah, I hear you. So, how do you feel about maybe a new viewer coming into this? You think they should
I
pick
think
it up?
yeah. I don't. It it pushes a lot of boundaries, but it doesn't go to an extreme to the point where I would be like, it would be too much for this new generation because we know
Yeah,
we have to be careful
we do.
of their emotions, and we have to. It. I feel like that statement is bad touching me, but you
We
know,
we recognize
we
you.
have to be careful of their emotions. That is not a comfortable statement for me because my thing is you can be a biscuit, but that's cool. Just be a
We don't
biscuit
we didn't
and do
have
that.
emotions in the 80s. We weren't
Yeah.
allowed
Wait,
of
having
Rub dirt.
emotions was an option?
Yeah. So, but this one, I think people would enjoy it. I mean, visually, it's cool to watch. Like you
Yeah.
said, the little tank. I want a little tank toy now because that just looks
Yeah.
adorable.
A little motorized
You know.
Bonaparte would be fun.
But yeah, I would recommend it for the new viewers.
Cool.
It was
All
just
right.
one that I think worked.
Awesome. All right, Vic, I'll let you go next, buddy.
I thoroughly enjoyed Metal Slug the anime. Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, the first 2 episodes were just gold. Second 2,
Mhm.
not so much, but it wasn't bad.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
It had its ups and downs, and it's like, would love more, more of this from Shiro, but I think Shiro's leaned hardcore into drawing erotic stuff now, and
Yeah,
has been for a couple of years.
indeed.
But even then, it's like, I know you've seen Rick, like his old Intron Depot,
Mhm.
art books, where you see
Yeah.
a lot of the original artwork for Dominion Tank Police, Black Magic, all
Yep.
of his stuff. And, it's his concept stuff. It's like, between character design and mechanical design is phenomenal. And I feel like it hasn't been touched enough. It's like, outside of Ghost in the Shell, which is, it's like his big series, which is getting another season, I think next year. And beyond that, it's Appleseed, which has had a few OAVs, but everything else has been like super minor, which is frustrating. But I enjoyed it. It's like I've always enjoyed Dominion Tank Police, and I also love the little bit of misdirection when you first see like the logo. It's like you see the starry sky, that Dominion comes up, and it makes it look like it's gonna be some kind of space sci-fi epic,
It
and
does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it is not.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of this anime is great expectation subversion. I appreciate it.
Oh, they did fix the spelling on the building.
Yeah.
It was Dominion Pulse, and then in the next couple of episodes, it
It says police.
Police.
Oh god. And like it was brought up earlier, it's like it's like that time era, the anything released in the 80s had that super poppy music, which
Mhm.
does not fit at all. But
Yep.
it's Hot Dancing Cherry Moon is still stuck in the back of my head right now, and it's driving me nuts. But yeah,
Alright.
I would say go ahead, watch it. People should watch it.
Solid.
Mhm.
All right. All right, Brian, you're up next, my friend.
I'm actually start off and say that people should watch it. Not for, is it a great anime? It's a good anime. It's a good anime. If you realize it's a parody, it's a parody. not taken seriously. But the problem is that there are so many things that are serious in there that you see them. You see that if you make light of it, you see the consequence of that. For instance, Leona, right? She starts off. Let's say she starts off progressive, but the more that she hangs around it, she eventually progresses to a more pro-military, pro-police state stance. And I don't think that's necessarily the answer that we should be doing. But the arguments they're using then are the same arguments that we're using now. If you want to see, well, this is how we can grow away from it. No, if you continue on this way, if more and more people all it takes is one person to sign the checkbook. And when
Yep.
that person signed the checkbook, you are unleashing hell. You can't get Pandora back in the box.
So true.
So that being said, the second one actually takes it a bit further to the whole how you say we agree to disagree
Yeah.
statement of it. His origin does no way excuse choices that he's made, right?
Agreed. Right.
And her being the law does not take into account any of the things that he threw in the past. Those are two real statements that the world wants you to understand. So the problem is it goes from parody, real world thought processes, until shows you the consequence of what happens when we hold those two. Am I making sense on that statement?
You are.
So far,
Yeah. I follow you.
So I found myself in a moral quandary with this one.
Sure.
Because I want more people to listen to how stupid they sound when they make these arguments.
I was not expecting you to say that last part.
This is how
And
stupid you
you
sound.
said I respect your thought on this so much more.
Yes.
I respect your thought on this so much more because of the way you just ended that statement.
Hey, so I want you to see how stupid you sound, and
Yep.
then see what the danger is between law and your origin story. They do not give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're leaving. And because they left us with Greenpeace Mothra as the I'm saying that's who
Yeah.
and they just leave us there.
That's our cliffhanger. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have no answer. And that really is we'll disagree to disagree. And I hate.
Mm-hmm.
Stand on business. Show me what you
Yeah.
mean. And
Yeah.
there you go.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna mirror everybody else's opinions on this. It was a lot of fun, and I felt that this anime was just so way ahead of its time, and really illustrates, comedically.
All your fears. All your fears.
Yeah, all your fears, all my fears for sure about this idea of a militarized police force.
From the top to the road. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Safe.
So that to me it was fun for me to have a good time with it because it's a real fear. It's a real concern I have, and to see it played out in the most cartoonish way possible, as a parody, it was really good. It was nice to have fun with the concept, even though we are at the doorstep of this happening, without a doubt. Like, we really are. So yeah, the first 2 episodes are great, man. They really are. Man, everybody should watch those. The animation is really good. It is a product of its time. Look, Masamune Shirow is extremely talented and has written thought-provoking pieces like Ghost in the Shell, giving people existential crises. Has written weird off-the-wall shit with Black Magic 8, Black Magic 66. It's weird. It's a sort of just again, science fiction, militarization. Like, the guy does really great tech. From tanks to robots to guns to the dude knows his shit. But the Sea Dominion Tank Police was a nice change of pace because it was, I think it's one of the only comedies I've ever seen out of Shiro. Like, straight comedy. And I feel like he really nailed it at first. Those first 2 episodes really nail it. Police Academy reference is excellent. That's what it is. It's give Police Academy tanks and watch Bobcat Goldthwait in a fucking tank. Like, that's what this ends up being. There's more. There's, 2 other anime OVAs. We may eventually get to there's the New Dominion Tank Police, and then there's a single shot thing.
Yeah, Tank Police Team, Tank SWAT 1.
So, but yeah, this is a really great, oddly relevant piece of anime. I feel like
that was the part that scared me the most. When the hospital for the healthy.
yeah,
Mm.
that's right.
It's the military.
Come on, Luigi.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
it is something that we are so easy to read as a country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that we could be parodied so successfully and have it still be so relevant 40 years later.
It's
Right.
insultingly successful.
Insultingly successful. So yeah, there's a brilliance to it that should be appreciated. Unless anybody else has anything to say, I think we're gonna call it. It's gonna do our show today.
Mhm.
I think
So-
we're good.
Yeah.
You
Till
get it.
next time, keep calm, and please remember Tank Police is a parody. Please stop militarizing the police force. For the love of God, please stop militarizing the police force. Oh, and hot dance and cherry mud.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections, or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.